Hey guys, we are live. This is Jennifer from the Shooter's Mindset with episode 334. Got our co host here, Greg Cannon. How's it going?
Good. Hey, everyone.
And our guest of the hour, Jeff Trapp.
How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good.
Good to see you again. Just got to see you Saturday, but
That's
good
right.
to see you again and get to kind of chat a little bit tonight. So, for those that are unfamiliar with you, let's go ahead and get started with you kind of telling everybody how you got into competitive shooting and kind of what your history with guns is.
Yeah, so I've been around shooting sports and hunting and all that since I was probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old. We've got a family farm here in Jackson, right down the road from Jarrett Rifles. So kind of growing up in the area and all that, and being friends with the guys running Jarrett Rifles, I've kind of been around the block a little bit with shooting sports. And I guess Chris and Tommy, just knowing them over the years, knowing they're into it. And then me and Ryan Castle used to work out together over in Aiken. So he kind of helped get me going in it in the PRS style stuff as well. So
That's awesome. It's fun to shoot together. I know we've all kind of shot together at matches, squatted together, and we always have a blast.
yeah, to me it's the group of friends that makes it real fun.
We have a good little local group here, I think, that like to get together and shoot. So it's good. So you've shot really well.
Yeah, I don't shoot near as many matches and all that as I like to, but I've got a little one right now, 6 months old, that's kind of holding me back a little bit, but it's good stuff. I mean, it's hard to leave him,
So are
for
you building him a rifle yet?
What now?
Are you building him a rifle yet?
Always. I mean, we've got all kind of stuff. We've got, a side by side that I bought for him right when the wife got pregnant, and all kind of stuff like that.
Is that Honda?
Yes, sir. That was a purchase for a baby boy.
I was about to say, is it as fun as the one I got to ride in?
Yeah, it was the same one actually. I bought that one for him.
So at the match Saturday, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but we'll talk about this because it was the highlight of my day. He had this side by side and it would fly. And so I think the whole day there were only like 2 times the target went down. But the first time a target went down, so he goes out there to fix it, and he like takes off across the field. And I was like, dude, I want to ride in that. So when he came back, I'm like, Jeff, next time you go out there to fix a target, you have to take me with you. So a little while later that afternoon, I heard, y'all need to go cold. There's a target down. I was like, wait.
You're welcome. I shot it down.
Thanks a lot, Greg.
And so I got to ride in it, and it was fun.
Heck yeah.
And what were those thoughts through your head about halfway out?
Well, I will say about halfway there, as I'm looking at the speedometer, I'm an ER nurse, right? A trauma nurse at a trauma center. So I see people, they get in wrecks all the time. So as we're going about 46 miles an hour, I was like, this is really fun. I don't have a helmet on. This is going to be really bad if we roll this thing and I go flying out of it. Like, I don't want to be Joe Burdick. So, because he just had a wreck, bless his heart. And I was like, and it was at a match. So I was like, this could be bad. Maybe I should hold on. But it's okay. You were a good driver and you didn't kill me. So
Excellent.
It's good. But that was fun.
Good stuff.
I kind of want to go do donuts out there in the field sometime. That would be fun.
We can do it.
So baby boy is going to love that thing.
Oh yeah, and he loves being outside, so I know he'll be all about the outdoor shooting sports and everything else. So,
what age do you think you'll introduce him? You think you'll get him a little 22?
Probably so. I think a lot of it's just going to depend on how he matures and all that. I don't know that there's a set age that I would start any, kid with a gun, or you kind of get an idea of when you feel like they're mature enough to really handle one.
Yeah, I think every kid is different.
That's right.
With when they are comfortable and all that. So, but I love all the pictures of the dads dry firing at home, and the 2-year-old laying behind the
Oh,
rifle, dry fire, and of course no ammos around or anything. But
I think it's good to kind of teach them firearm safety pretty
Right.
young. So
Yep, I agree. So we really got you on the show. I mean, you're a really cool person and a fun shooter and fun friend, but we really got you on the show to talk about the match. So y'all just had a match that Jarrett Rifles sponsored at Cowden Plantation. Um, it was a lot of fun. I shot it. We'll talk about it more. But how did the idea come up to have a match there?
so being around the shop and all that at Jarrett Rifles a lot of times they go shoot prairie dog shoots, and basically all it is a piece of paper that's got a prairie dog on it, and it's pretty much bench rest shooting. And just me over the years going in there talking to them about how fun it is going out with your buddies. You got a big group together. Travel somewhere, go shoot steel all day. It's just a good time to do that stuff. Hear that steel ring and everything, and it to me it makes you a better sportsman. Whether you're hunting deer or doing anything else. Because you get so good at shooting from different positions and that kind of stuff. And it kind of got them thinking they wanted to get into it. So I would bring, guns up there and, from PRS stuff and let them shoot those. And it kind of got their interest. And, I recommended, going out there to their place and kind of, taking a look at the property and all that and see if they had any good areas to where we could set up a match so they could kind of get their feet wet on it. And I mean, Cowden Plantation, it's 10,000 acres of family land that they've had. I know since the 70s. So it's an awesome place. They have a hunt club out there that they sell memberships to. They farm a decent amount of it. And it just kind of goes hand in hand with the rifle shop. Their rifle business has been in, or I guess got started in 1979. So they're in their 42nd year of operation, which is pretty awesome for a family-run business. There aren't too many gun places that have been open for 42 years. So pretty good stuff.
It's an awesome place. I know we talked about it and Jay couldn't come on tonight. So we're going to do a show sometime in the future with Jay and talk about Jarrett Rifles. It's really a just neat place out there. But the plantation was gorgeous. Like,
yeah, and we barely touched any of the property, really. Like I said, 10,000 acres. So there's a ton of land out there to really give everybody a different look. So it's not just shooting targets out across the field. We can change up the scenery, and I love giving everybody a different setting to shoot stuff at, not just an open field like most places are.
Yeah, even in just 11 stages, he did a good job of mixing up the scenery. We did have a lot out in the field, and it was nice. I berms set up behind stuff, so it was easy to spot your misses. Everything's nice and spread out, so you're not, hearing the other squads and stuff like that. But then also, we had the one stage in between the trees. We had 2 other stages out there on the 1,000-yard range. There was over the pond. There was the spool stage that was someplace different. So it was pretty cool. Not a lot of matches with, one-day matches with 10 stages will give you that much of a change of scenery.
Right. Yeah. I just, every time, we have a match in the future, I definitely want to change it up a little bit just so it's not the same thing every single time. Most of the venues that are hosting matches, I mean, there's not much to change. They've got only a certain area that they can work with. So, I feel like that's something new that we can offer, as a club.
I thought it was great. There was a good variety of stages. For a one day, there really was. I mean, y'all did 11 stages. That was a lot for a one day match for what we paid. I feel like we got a lot of shooting in. I feel like it was really good.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to get it at least close to 100 rounds, being as you have people traveling 2, 3, 4 hours to come to a one-day match, I don't like for people to have to drive that far and not really get, a full day of shooting in.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I've had a few that's like, was this really worth the travel? But this, well, it was 41 minutes, so it was awesome for me. But it was a really good value as far as, not only the amount of stages, it was a decent round count. I think in today's current climate, we'd rather have more 8-round stages, less 12-round stages.
Oh yeah.
Just to, I'm sure you guys watched me like try and salvage those 2 primers, because that's like $14 worth of primers right there before the show started. But that was awesome. Let's hit a couple lives real quick. So I know Prentice Wink. We're not sure if Jennifer remembers him or not, but he said hi. Prentice, when are you having your baby? That's coming soon. Also, my green gun is currently tan. It is absolutely covered in sand. Hey, Jeff, do you think it would be possible at all? I saw a lot of equipment out there to move the sand away from the range, just all of it.
We might can put some rock out.
Cool, because I got half of it in my gun.
Maybe if you didn't like dive into the sand like it was a swimming pool, maybe you wouldn't have as much dirt in it.
I was really thirsty. No, it was literally there was literally one stage, and I kind of dove into the sand, and then my gun didn't work as good afterwards. But
at least I only made you go prone one time in all that sand.
Yeah, and honestly,
he fully dove in like it was a swimming pool, and so it kind of. And then I shot his rifle after that because I had. Well, that's a long story, but anyway, I shot his rifle after that. And there's video of me like trying to close the bolt going, what is wrong with your bolt? It won't close. And you can hear the crunch of the sand. Yeah, it was fun. It was good times. But hey, that's part of it. Just like when I went out to Wyoming and shot that match out there was sand everywhere. It's part of it. You have to deal with it and figure out how to keep your equipment clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't dive into the sand. I got another live one from Tommy Goodson. He wants to know what hair products you use on your mullet.
And just go with the 3-in-1 or 2-in-1, whatever it is, hair and body wash all in one. It doesn't really matter which one it is. It all works great. Just need a lot of cheeseburgers in your diet to keep that sheen to it.
Tommy's jealous because he doesn't have a mullet.
Next time I get a haircut, Tommy, I'll make you a wig out of this thing.
Oh, that was great.
That would be awesome.
That I swear, if you don't, I'm gonna be so mad at you, Jeff.
I will do it.
You cut that all off, like you have to glue it together, and it doesn't even have to be pretty, and make a wig for him.
Could you just glue it to the back of the hat?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We'll just glue it up in a hat for him, and he can roll with that.
That would be hilarious.
That would be epic.
Any other lives?
Chris Walker said because he's going bald.
Oh wait, what did Tommy just say?
I think he's just laughing. Actually, he said you gotta look.
Oh my word. Is that all the lives?
That is. Ashley Wink said that Addison still hasn't made her arrival yet, but she says hi. Sometime in May she's coming. And then Keith Baker also says that he knows Prentice Wink. So Jarrett's kind of known worldwide for their hunting rifles. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody has at least at some point in time heard of a Jarrett hunting rifle. But also, I know that they're doing some stuff with PRS rifles and, working with some shooters. What kind of different services and rifles and stuff like that do they offer that us PRS shooters might be interested in?
We actually had one built to bring out to the match and let people check out and possibly shoot. But let's see, the Tuesday before the match, a guy from the Midwest walked in, saw it, and laid down some $100 bills on the table for it and bought it before it even got painted. So we didn't really get a chance to bring that out, but they've done some modifications to their action to make it a little better for PRS shooting, to make it a little smoother, make it a little easier to use. For hunting, they kind of designed it so that, it is safe and it will not fail in any kind of environment, because, you might be taking it to Russia and it'd be, 10 degrees below zero, or you might be shooting it, out west, or, in hot environments. I know I took a 300 Jared to Africa a couple of years ago, and in the mornings it was, 20, 30 degrees. And then in the afternoons it's, 90 degrees. So, you climbing in and out of vehicles, getting sand in them and all that. They're definitely well built and made to not fail in, in the situation where you needed to fire. Their actions, everything from start to finish is made in-house, as well as their barrels. They import their barrels. It's basically just a blank that they get. I believe they come from Germany. I think it's a special type of German stainless that they use. And they do everything from cutting the rifle into, tapering them, everything, the whole 9 yards. The only thing they get, that's not made in-house is the triggers, and they use mainly stock blanks from Macmillan right now, but they're starting to get, all different manufacturers as far as stocks now, to just depending on what the consumer wants. One cool thing they do for any barrel job they do is, when you buy a barrel, whether it's having a Remington, a Curtis, an Impact, whatever, whatever action it is, you get a barrel for that. They give you your load development for that barrel, and they give you basically 3 targets that they've shot 3 consecutive times that have to be all underneath the half MOA. And most of the ones I see go out are less than a quarter. I would say 95% of the time. So that way, if you buy a barrel, you know exactly what you're getting when you go home with it, and there's no question on whether or not it's going to shoot or, anything like that. They've done the homework for you. That barrel's been broken in and everything. All their barrels are hand lapped before they're ever shot. So they produce high quality stuff.
Yeah, I know we were the morning of, somebody may have been a slacker and not zeroed a rifle before the match, and we had to go sneak in there to the
I gotta sell me out.
I never said who. So Jennifer, now that she sold herself out, didn't get a chance to zero before, so we went up by the shop at the range where they do all the load development, and we met Kyle. Was that his name? Yes, super awesome guy that does a lot of their load development. And we got to talking. Then he's like, I was telling him how awesome the setup was. And he's like, oh, you haven't even seen where I work. And he took us inside and showed us their load development room that has, I can't think of a place that has more reloading components than that, like anywhere ever. And he was showing us some of the some of the targets that he shot. He's like, yeah, we developed this load, and it literally, it's like the tip of a pencil. So it's not no amateur load development there. Any rifle that's putting 3 rounds inside of literally the same hole. You hear people say like, oh yeah, I got a 3-shot group and it's same hole like that, but it looks like a clover. No, he had a stack of targets this thick that's like, yeah, I shot this one, I shot this one, I shot this one, and it's all just same whole group. So they do some pretty awesome stuff up there.
Yeah, and when they do load development, you tell them, you want to be shooting a 140 grain burger, they develop the load for that, and you've got the sheet when you pick it up on exactly what to load for to get that. And I've been in there when guys will sit there and they'll order 1,000 rounds, with their rifle. So
damn,
they
Rich. I swear that's what I would do.
There's actually,
Look, I would be like, give me a barrel. Let's see, it'll probably get 2,000 rounds on it. Okay, give me a barrel and 2,000 rounds of ammo. And I would
yep.
just shoot. It would be amazing, but I'm not rich. If anybody wants to donate money, go ahead.
Yeah, so Kyle, he pretty much does the load development and shoots all the guns. And then they have another guy in the back room there. I don't know if he took you through into the back room of that reloading room. And another guy, Brian, in there, all he does is reload for big orders. So those two guys, that is their only job. So Kyle's load development, Brian's reloading for custom orders. So
that is awesome. So what you just described, Jen, that is possible with Jarrett, right? I could literally call him and say, hey, I'm going to bring you up my Curtis custom action. And I'm going to shoot a 6 GT. I want to shoot a 105 hybrid. And I want 2,000 rounds of ammo with it. And I could drop it off. They'll call me when it's done. And that's all I got to do.
that is correct. And actually the guy that bought the gun that they built to take to the match, he actually had them hook him up with a complete reloading kit. So he wanted 40 rounds loaded for it. And then he wanted a kit to be able to reload another 200 rounds on top of that. You know, the press and the whole 9 yards, press, scale, and all. So they can really hook you up with whatever you need. And like I said, they've been doing it since 1979. So they have a lot of contacts in the industry, you know, that a lot of people might not know about.
Yeah, they were telling me about some of the lengths they were going through to get primers right now. I'm not going to share those secrets, but they're definitely doing what they got to do to get them.
Oh yeah.
So this way they could kind of be here for all of us. So Chris Walker brought up a good point. It was awesome that you got Saborsky and Collis out there.
Yes.
You know, I know they're always willing to, you know, send a kit to a match with all the spotters and stuff, but they actually showed up. And did some of them shoot the match also?
Yeah, so Jared actually, I think, is one of the top sellers of Swarovski optics in this region. So they sell a ton of scopes for them. So they've got some good pull as far as, you know, getting resources and all that when it comes to that kind of stuff. So really good stuff. They've got a lot of good relationships with different people in the industry. So always helps.
Yeah, it was cool to see them there for just a local match, not a 2-day, not, you know.
Yeah, because I thought I was going to be scrambling a little bit to try to get enough spotting scopes and good sets of binos for, you know, to run 11 stages off of, because we hadn't talked about it yet, but 9 out of our 11 stages will run with ROs that have never seen or shot any PRS matches. So that being said, I think we did a pretty good job.
I tell you though, they were some of the nicest ROs,
Mm-hmm.
and well, except for that Ryan guy. But Ryan, I'm just kidding. Don't get mad at me. Don't throw a horseshoe at me. Anyway.
Yeah, so a lot of those guys actually work in the shop. So yeah, they've been around firearms a long time, but they've never seen anything like that. So I think they did a great job.
Well, that's what some of them said. You know, they were like, I've never, you know, I know about guns, but I've never done this. And so we were like, well, we don't mind backing up on glass. And so we would back up, but they were just eager to be out there, happy, nice, you know.
Very, very positive.
Yeah.
You know, doing whatever they could to help us. You know, typically, you know, you'll go to a match and you'll quickly learn who's a new RO, who's a seasoned RO. You know, because any help as an RO is great. It doesn't, you know, if you've never shot a match before, you know, it's a great way to learn. That's what I did before I shot my first match, is went out and RO. But whoever trained them up and gave them their RO brief did a pretty good job. They there was no obvious like, oh, this guy's never been out here before. This guy doesn't know what he's doing, because, you know, I personally know one of the two ROs that has shot before. I kind of voluntold him into ROing for you. But if they didn't talk about how like, oh, this is so cool, I've never seen anything like this before, I wouldn't know. They were doing a great job. They knew the range commands. They had their stuff together. They really did.
Good stuff. Yeah, we want to be better every time we do one. So feedback that I've gotten back has definitely helped. And like I said, we just want to be better every time.
Like I said, all but that Ryan guy.
Well, hopefully he'll be uncrippled in shooting next time.
I know. No, he was a good RO. He was like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, no, I thought it was great. I think for a first match, y'all did an amazing job. So, what was the hardest part of getting ready for this? Like, it was your first match ever that you match directed, correct?
Right.
So,
Correct.
I mean, we think that y'all did a great job. It was really, really well put together and very well thought out. A lot of things that you thought about. I can tell that you've shot matches because you knew things to think about ahead of time.
Right.
And so no matter what you do, you're going to have kinks that you just, no matter how good you can plan, you won't work them out until you actually see how it flows at that particular range. So I thought you did great. What was the most challenging thing about getting it set up?
To me, probably the most challenging part was trying to make sure that every single shooter had, the same chance on a stage and all that. So you're not handicapping one shooter over another based on height or something like that. So, anytime I've looked at a stage, you have to try to think of every little scenario to make sure that, you're not giving somebody an advantage over somebody else. I think that's, a key thing that not a lot of people think about.
I think y'all did a good job with the heights. None of the props were tall. Even like the tank trap, the one point that we had to go off of was a little bit high, but I could still see over it. And I'm not super, super tall. I could still see over it with being all the way on the point. But the way you had it set up, it was the white or anything above. So if you couldn't reach from the very top, you could have put your bag a little bit lower. And so I did think about that as they were doing the stage brief. I was like, that was pretty smart of them, because if you had a youth shooter that maybe is not as tall or somebody really short, Tommy can barely see over the props. So I'm picking on Tommy so bad he's going to kill me. But for shorter people, you had that option there, and I thought that was good. And like your barricade was not super high. I know sometimes the PRS barricade gives people a hard time because they shoot now, but like 2 years ago, the top was pretty high.
Right. Yeah. So that one actually, one of the guys from the shop built that, and we set it up there, where in the field where it was going to be shot. And I got him to come over there, and I said, okay, get on your knees since you're, 6'1". And I said, and see if you can shoot off all these positions, and he's like, oh, you're right. And I'm like, you got to think about every little thing, you can't just slap a bunch of stuff in a field and think everything's going to flow perfect, for a match. You got to try to think of every little scenario. And one thing that I was worried about too, up there on top of that hill where that field was, there can be some really, really strong winds up there and a lot of gusty winds. So I tried to limit some of the yardages on a lot of that stuff to keep from, keep that variable to a minimum. Because if we put everything out there, 700, 800 yards, and that wind starts kicking, 15 to 20 up there on top of that hill with gusts, a lot of new shooters that we had in that match would have gotten very frustrated very quickly. And to me, when you set up a match, the first thing you need to think of is, how can I make this fun for every shooter so that, these people that are coming out here and spending their hard-earned money and all that have a good time, when they're spending their Saturday away from their family, to do something else. So to me, safety is always the number one thing in shooting sports. But to me, one of these matches, it needs to be something that everybody enjoys shooting.
Yeah, I think you did it was noticeable after a stage or two that you did put some serious thought into every stage, that you verified everything worked, and you did a very good job of keeping it a balanced match. there were new shooters that were shooting tons of targets, but then at the top you still had really good separation. There was no ties, and I didn't look all the way down the list, but I know at the top of it there was no ties whatsoever. There was solid separation between, you know, the first 10 places, so it wasn't like, you know, everybody was cleaning the match or anything like that. When it comes to the wind, I got by the wind a couple times, but it wasn't a battle of Greg versus the wind the whole match.
Yeah, I think just having a good variety of stuff, you know, where your new shooters can have fun, but it still challenges your seasoned shooters is a must for them. So,
well, and it was things that like you looked at, and I think we talked in the group too, that you said you feel like like you did it so much you didn't realize that some of the difficulties, like on paper, it all looked really
right,
very straightforward. You were very straightforward. You didn't have any crazy stuff in there, gamey stuff, you know. But I mean, on one of the stages where we had to shoot through the what do you call it? The tube.
yeah, culverts and all that.
Yeah, the culverts. Had to shoot through the culvert. I'm standing there, watched somebody shoot the wrong target, and I got down there right after him and I shot the wrong target, because it was little tricky things like that you did well that made it to where like you had to pay attention. You just
Right.
had to, and that was on me completely. I'm not complaining about that at all, but that adds a little bit of challenge where you have to, you know, make sure that you get lined up, because when you get down that culvert, you can only see so much. And so you have to make sure you're lined up right. So like things like that, or where we had to shoot support side, like you added in some things that made it really interesting. So really every stage was different. It wasn't like you go up and, oh, okay, this is going to be a high position and a low position. You shoot the target 2 times, you move on. Go to the next one. Oh, that's a high position and a low position. You shoot the target 2 times. It was totally different. Like every stage was very different. I think you did a really good job with making them all different. You know, and that makes it fun. You don't want the same thing all the time. And you had a few that were really challenging. You had a few that were, you know, okay, this is going to be a redemption stage to get my confidence back, you know, after having some gun issues and not shooting well. And of course, one of the most talked about stages was, which one do you think?
I'm going to say the lose all your points. I mean, the KYL.
The KYL. So he did a traditional KYL where you lose your points. And do you know, Jeff, how many people lost all their points? There were a lot of zeros.
I know there was 2 people that cleaned it, and that was it.
Yeah.
So
I'll see if I can find it.
That 4th target.
and those people that were in the top 4. So.
Mm-hmm. But it made it interesting, right? It was fun. It was a gamble stage.
Yeah, I felt like
who remembers what stage number that was?
Let's see.
Oh wait, I have the match book up.
I think it was 10.
I believe that is right.
This fool called this thing nerve wrecker.
Yes.
It was awesome. It was so fun. We had the most fun at that stage though, because when we got up there, everybody just like shit talked everybody. Like we all were like, oh, he's gonna, he missed, you know, and it was
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, they have all zeros. Yeah, there was a lot of zeros on that stage.
It's funny though, when you get up there, you know, on those tires that we had set up, you know, you can get a pretty good position on that. And honestly, the targets don't look that bad.
Super stable. You had plenty of time.
Yeah. So, you know, I kind of wanted that one enticing, but not too easy, you know, to where you were just laid out prone. So
I thought it was great. I thought it was fun. Like I said, I think that was the most fun stage because we all just joked with each other the whole time. I mean, everybody was watching. Oh, he missed it, you know, The other stages we watched each other, but it wasn't like that. So I thought it was fun.
Yeah,
And what's crazy, so that stage originally was going to be shooting through that swamp where those tires were to the right of them. But basically, I guess this time of year, everything greened up so fast that the targets that we put out through that swamp got really hard to see. And I didn't want everybody to get really confused when they got behind the scope and started getting frustrated on, trying to locate the targets and all that. So we made a little, a last effort to try to salvage that shooting position, because I really liked that little area where we put those tires and all. I thought that was pretty neat.
So let's talk about the targets. I think that you had them well placed. There were small berms behind a lot of them, some of them not, but a lot of them were. But I feel like they were all really easy to see. Now, I shot the wrong one at one point, but that's just because I got down on my scope and was on the wrong one. But I feel like they were all easy to find. You talk about newer shooters and having trouble. I feel like they were easy to see. You had like caution tape that kind of would catch your eye. So I feel like and there were no tricks. Like every stage, like the target literally was directly in front of you. It wasn't like, oh, it's hidden over here, I feel like
I like to.
on being very upfront.
Yeah, I like to square up most of the stuff, to where it makes you as a shooter square your shoulders to your target better. And a lot of it, I don't like trickery in a match. I want the best shooter to win. I don't want, somebody to, mess up on some little technicality or something like that. I think to me, that's not fun when you're having to, work really hard to try to figure out where certain targets are and all that stuff. I hate a cluttered range to where, you've got multiple targets in your field of view when you're trying to shoot and all that stuff. To me, that's, I don't know, you're trying to trick the shooter. And I don't know, I'm just not about that.
Well, so while we're talking about the targets, did you forget to fertilize them?
So basically the target size, I tried to look at the shooting position we were using on that stage. And, if it was a fairly easy shooting position, very stable, I tried to stay around 2 MOA. Some were maybe just a tiny bit smaller than 2 MOA. But then the further the targets got and the, I guess, less stable the shooting position, I tried to go up around 3 MOA. And I tried to kind of have one a little bit smaller and one a little bit bigger on every target array, so that, it just wasn't.
I'm just picking on you because I thought with the distances, it was good, because for some shorter distances, you just made smaller targets and it made it challenging. I mean,
Right.
there weren't any that were like, give me targets. I think everybody, even those that were in the top, it wasn't like they were getting up there and cleaning every stage. I mean, if it's that, it's just like, oh, come on, So I think there was enough of a challenge there. That ruler stage, I might have talked bad about you.
a lot bad about you. The hay bales shooting through the trees, that was probably the hardest targets to hit.
I was like, where are the targets?
and he even made it easy for us. He put caution tape out there to draw your eyes to the targets. And it didn't take me too terribly long to find them, but I think it was just I think I picked bad positions on that stage and took too long trying to get stable.
It was fun though. I mean, It made it fun that it was through the trees. I'd never shot really that much through the trees. There is one tree out there that is probably not gonna.
I shot that one tree at least 3 times
because a lot of people shot it.
So one thing I tried to kind of set this match up to do is to teach the shooters to make sure you square yourself to your targets. I know when I was first starting out shooting this stuff, you jump in there with too much magnification on your scope and you don't do a good job of squaring your shoulders up to your targets, and you will really suffer. So I tried to make everything to where, your targets are pretty much right in front of you. So as long as you square yourself up to them, you're not going to get on the wrong target. So I was trying to kind of instill that on some of the new shooters we had out there so that they kind of get that in the back of their minds.
Yep, you definitely did a good job at that. I think there's only 2 stages that I wasn't, I don't want to say instantly on it, but there were 2 stages that I really had to work hard on. And it would be the through the trees off the hay bales and then through the corrugated pipe. And it was just the corrugated pipe part that I struggled with. I got down there, I made a giant mess of sand, and then I had to scooch around until I saw him again because I kind of flustered myself getting down and making such a big mess.
Yeah, one shooter I saw, he actually did very well in the match, but he didn't quite get his muzzle, into the tube. So when he pulled the trigger, sand and everything went all over him. But I'll say he stayed on the gun and ran it like a champ. So
yeah, I did that too. So I dove down, made a giant splash of sand, and I didn't realize how powdery the sand was at the time. I was trying to do a lot of stuff, getting ready on that stage. I had to grab more ammo, and make a couple adjustments to the rifle, and blah 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 blah. And then it's like, oh crap, it's time to shoot. And I'm literally walking up the stage. I'm like, what bags do I need? Sure, yeah, just a game changer, I guess, which is 99% of the time the answer, and was kind of figuring that one out on the fly. I don't think I watched a single other shooter shoot before me. And yeah, that was just poor preparation on my part.
yeah, that stage, you would definitely benefit from watching somebody in front of you, bipod height.
Oh, I did that too.
Yeah, that was a huge thing with that tube. So I mean, the shot was a chip shot. I mean, for that target, but you had to have your bipod at the right height and all that to succeed through that tube.
Yep. So I definitely learned some lessons on that stage. What lessons would you say you learned from running your first match? What's probably your biggest lesson that you learned, the biggest thing you're going to do different next time?
I'd like a little more preparation with the ROs and kind of go over, a few more details. In the future, we plan on doing PRS sanctioned stuff. So the way I, kind of got everything running versus how, we would do that for PRS points and all that stuff is a little different. So a lot of it would just depend on how we proceeded forward. But that's one thing. I'd like to make it to where we can move in between stages a little bit easier. Some of our transportation lacked a little bit.
Great, man. The hay rides were fun.
I'm about to say,
Very far. I was happy.
About to say, I took the Denali hayride. I was literally riding on a hayride behind a Denali 2500. That was the smoothest hayride I think I've ever been on in my life. Now, there was no leather on the hay. If you could get some of that Denali leather out on the hay, that would help a lot. But, I spent a lot of Sunday cleaning my truck, and I got about half a bale of hay in my shop vac. If you guys want that back,
I think we'll let you keep it.
All right, cool.
I don't really have anything in particular. A bunch of little things I'd like to, improve on and all that. Like I said, I got a bunch of feedback from a lot of good guys, and plan on incorporating all of it. Some of it is just making sure we got water just about at every station. So, nobody's having to contact somebody to bring them water. Just that kind of thing.
But you had candy bars.
We did have candy bars.
Candy bars.
Jennifer, how many candy bars did you eat on Saturday?
We're not talking about that. They had the side-by-side and candy bars. That was.
She's so easy to appease, isn't she?
Good stuff.
I really did. I mean, all joking aside, like a lot of matches don't think about things. And I really do feel like y'all thought about everything. Mm-hmm. I know there are some things that you think, oh, logistically, I need to do it this way next time. But y'all, it wasn't for a lack of thinking of something. I mean, John's where we could get to them, which is a big thing for us girls because we can't just go pee at the tree line like all y'all do. But
especially not with Greg Moore around.
So that was nice, and they were super clean. The hay rides were nice. I mean, just walking or going to stage 10, I thought we were going to have to walk there. And he's like, oh, no, we're going to hay ride you up there. And I was like, oh, all right. Let me get up here. This is awesome. So, I mean, I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. I think y'all did a jam up job really for a first match, local match. And you did 11 stages. Sometimes people for their first local match, they'll be like, oh, we're going to have 7 or 8 stages, which is okay. But like, I really do feel like y'all went above and beyond. And then the awards, y'all had a great place for that. I mean, the facility is amazing. I love that zebra on the wall. I'm really bummed that the picture of me with y'all does not have the zebra head. It only has the bottom of the zebra on it. But next time I'm going to get one. I'm going to be like, put the camera a little higher. I want that whole zebra head. It's the coolest thing, y'all, this zebra that's in there. Anyway.
Yes.
But I think y'all did a great job of everything. I really do think this match will grow.
Yeah, and like I said, in the future, I kind of made paper score sheets for every stage and all that, just to make it easier on the guys so they could focus on, trying to run their stage versus learning something new, for putting scores in practice score and all that they've never seen before. A lot of it, we just tried to make it simple so that there was less stuff to foul up and all that, which I've got to kind of work out some situation where we got some internet at that building that we did the scoring at and all, because it's kind of off the beaten path a little bit. We don't really have internet service out there and all that, so posting scores was a little hairy and all that right after the match and all. I finally got them up the next day, but I'd like next time to have everything done through practice score to where we can just have the arbitration period and then post the scores and then do
Yeah,
then do our awards. So
if you do it that way, use your cell phone as the master. And I have somewhere around here like a $15 wireless router that I use to set up when I run my matches. And you can basically, that'll allow all the devices to talk together, so you can pull all the scores to your phone and then just hit post to practice score from your phone.
Definitely. I actually plan on coming to one of your 22 matches and helping you run that, so I can kind of learn all that stuff a little better than I know right now.
Yeah. Hit me up and we'll, if you want to learn practice score, like you can normally the Friday night before I do all the, the pre-work of it. And
right.
Heck, if you want, I'll let you kind of do all the practice score work for one of my matches. We can do it together, and then this way you'll be good to go. And also, I could just be there to help you at the next match as well.
Yeah, either way, I just want to make sure, we do things a little better every time.
Yep.
Any live?
Well, Chris Walker said, good job on limiting the use of bipods. He thinks he only used them on 3 stages for one position or another.
Yeah, I tried to make it to where, you only need basic stuff for that match. A lot of guys that were shooting it, I actually had some guys that were shooting hunting rifles from Jarrett there, and they were hand feeding once their magazine got, was full. So, or once they emptied their magazine that was in the gun. So a lot of it, I tried to minimize you having time to mess with setting up a tripod and doing all that kind of stuff. So I tried to make it to where nobody was handicapped by not having a lot of gear and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it was pretty basic. As long as you had a bag like a Game Changer or a fortune cookie and a bipod, like it really wasn't gamey where it was like, oh, I really feel like I need a,
Yep.
It's good.
I'd say I don't think there's any stages that were, well, generally in life, I don't think there's stages that a tripod would be a night and day difference. But there wasn't any stages that were that really required you to go super crazy and bust out the tripod and the tack plate and 72 bags and this, that, and the other thing. You could shoot everything pretty decently with just basics.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Bell said, why didn't I know about this match, Greg? Well, Mike Bell, because you should join the PRS Southeast region page. And because I forgot to tell you, but you really would have enjoyed it and you should come to the next one.
And I think we're now in the Atlantic region and not the
Yeah.
Southeast.
Yeah.
We are?
Yes.
Yeah, we moved regions
When did that happen?
a while ago.
This year.
What does our region, well, I mean, I didn't join this year because I'm broke, but what does this region, like, where are the boundaries of it?
I hadn't looked at that, but I think this year was when it moved to the Atlantic region.
Is it like just South Carolina, Georgia, or North Carolina?
Hold on.
I was about to say, you're like the
Let-
Google master. Can you
Let me Google this for you. All right. So, Atlantic Coast region, click on it, is Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina.
Oh, I see. And Georgia is south.
Yep. Southeast region is, oh gosh, this is geography. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Kentucky. Assuming that I did decent in geography. I think that's what those shapes mean.
That's crazy. I didn't realize there was that going on. So, oh, cool. Very cool. When do you think there'll be another one, Jeff?
I am not sure. I know we want to do a couple more one-day matches before we start with the two-day stuff. Kind of just depends on, what other matches are in the area. And, obviously some of it depends on how this ammo shortage deal plays out. So hopefully we can start getting some more components and all that and get more shooters, geared up for more matches. I know many people didn't really shoot the match because they didn't have enough components to shoot the ones that they were already signed up for, much less, add more into the mix. So that's kind of one of our limiting factors. But I would like to get, I would say 2 more one days going before, and I would definitely like to, do those for PRS points and basically set up a club series.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think that I have no doubt that when you dive into the 2 days, I don't think you're going to have any issues whatsoever. But I do think it would be kind of cool to kind of start, run a couple of one days out there, get more people to see the facility, see how good the matches are. And then, when you have, 100 people that have shot out there before and shot your matches, when 2 days signups come up, those will be your people. It'll be saying, hey, yeah, you definitely want to shoot this. This dude does good stuff.
Right. Yeah, I would like to set us, apart from every other match by just having, something a little different looks, and obviously running it as best as we possibly can. So.
I mean, 2 days would be good, but I liked the one day too. It was nice. I got up out of my own bed. I drove to the match. One day, at the end of the day, we were done. Like, it's a whole different mindset to me with like one day. Like, I did have some gun issues. And so a 2-day match, I would have just been like, oh my gosh. It would have just been like, I drove all this way in 2 days. But I was like, I mean, it's a one day. Let me just have fun. And I did. And I had fun, and I ended up borrowing a gun at the end and shot really well the last 2 stages. So it was just a different mindset, and it was kind of good to have it done in one day and
That's right.
chill. So not that I don't want you to do any 2 days, but I would love for you to keep doing some one days too, because it just was it was fun.
Yeah, and I think we're in a good area because there's not a whole lot of matches around here, that are close. 2-day matches. I mean, yeah, for a 2-day match is a long ways. I think the only one-day matches that I know of really around here is Cool Acres, and I've shot one at Sawmill up near Greenville, I think it was. So just not a lot of stuff close for us. And I know we've got a good little shooting community here. So definitely want to tap into that and get some new shooters. There was actually some guys that just came over from, like Augusta, Georgia, over in Evans and stuff like that, I've never seen them at another match before. I didn't even know they were from this area. So we pulled some people that, we didn't even know we had here.
We need to revitalize our CSRA precision shooters group and start posting in there and getting some of these people into it so we can post stuff like, Mike Bell saying, why didn't I know about this match with it being so close? So we need to bring that group back.
You know what we really should do? This would take Jeff helping. We should do Tommy and Chris do them too out at Camp David, but we should do a beginner PRS class.
Yes.
Yep.
For local people and try and get more local interest. I'd love to get more people here shooting.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think, by setting up matches that you need minimal gear to do and all that kind of stuff, it kind of invites, people to come out that don't think they got to go spend, $10,000 to get set up for, doing a big 2-day match and being competitive at it. So,
well, the great thing about the match that you set up is it was challenging, but it could be shot with not an $8,000 rifle.
Right.
It could be like you had shots that were not super, super long. The longest, you had 1,000-yard target and you had one at 760.
Yeah.
And I think the rest was 600 in.
That's right.
So if somebody wanted to come out there and just shoot their hunting rifle, just to have fun, it was perfectly feasible. They were small targets, so it was challenging, but it's definitely feasible to do it without having the top of the line custom rifle,
Yeah.
I think that that's a good way to reach people that, because we have a lot of hunters in the area.
That's
and
right.
if they wanted to compete and do something, take a day and go do something that's totally different, they could do that without spending a lot of extra and using their same rifle.
Yeah. You could have shot this with a RPR, a PST Gen 2, some, federal match ammo, and a game changer.
It was a good, I liked it, even if it kicked my tail. But.
Yeah. So we've been talking kind of about how awesome this place is. And you got Jarrett Rifles, and behind that is Cadam Plantation, which is where we actually shot. So what is the point of this plantation? What all goes on there? How do we find out more info if we want to do something else out there?
I believe they have a website. On Cadam Plantation, they've got the 1,000-yard range that we set up some new targets on. They actually have another 300-yard range on that property. There's, it basically all of it borders the Savannah River. There's a bunch of different ponds and stuff on it. They do everything from, hog hunting to deer hunting. Everything on the deer side is actually trophy managed. So everybody, all kind of people have actually gone out there and hunted. Dale Earnhardt, they've got some signed stuff in the shop from where he's, gone out there and hunted. Steven Spielberg, all kind of people. They've killed some monster deer out there on that property. A lot of people turkey hunt on there. They actually do some duck hunting and stuff like that. So they've got a good mix of everything, really. So I believe all that is on their website. It's either, I think there's a link off of the Jarrett website, and they're working to update their Jarrett Rifles website as well. But I believe there's a link for the Cadam Plantation on there too. So
I want to go hog hunting sometime.
Yep, they have a ton of those. Actually, that spool stage, some hogs went out and rooted that thing up after we set the targets up out there. So it looked like the surface of the moon in that field.
I've never been hunting, and one of our friends at the match, Chris Walker, said that I can't deer hunt because I can't keep my mouth shut long enough.
I don't think either of us are going to argue with Chris on that.
Probably right. So that probably only leaves hog hunting because you don't have to be quiet at that as much. Anyway,
There you go.
I mean, I feel like if I just get far enough away from whatever I'm shooting, then I don't have to be quiet, right?
No, I've literally been like 5 stages down from you, all these rifles going off, and I still hear loudmouth.
It's a little rough.
That was mean. That kind of hurt.
They do have those.
Chris Walker said facts.
That is a great facility. It's some beautiful property down there. They actually have a boat ramp that you can use that to put your boat in the Savannah River right off of their property. That big fin building that we had the ceremony in. I mean, that place is beautiful inside. Just there's a lot of great area out there that we could utilize that, for additional matches that we didn't even touch. So
That's awesome. So 2 additional matches. Chris Walker said something a while back. He said another advantage of hosting matches at Cowden Plantation is the ability to hold team and field matches with rucking.
very true. That place, like I said, 10,000 acres. You can get lost out there in a hurry. So one of the things we tried to keep everybody together so nobody get lost. So we definitely need to put some signs up for the next match, which we had some signs that just didn't get. We never got them in time.
Yeah, because some asshole might just go and park his truck like in the middle of the field, like next to stage 6, and leave it there the whole match because he parked in the wrong spot. I don't know who would have done that.
It happens.
Oops.
It happens.
It happened.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was easy to find where we had to go. I do agree with Chris though. There is a lot of potential out there for doing some different stuff like that.
For sure.
You could do like a mammoth out there.
Yeah, it would be a good place. And like I said, once we get another 2 or 3 matches under our belt to where we're really comfortable and really confident, RO wise and everything else, then we'll start exploring some different avenues to, get some different people involved and get a couple different looks and all that. So
I'm really excited to see what the future holds.
definitely. I think a lot of the guys out of the shop really, that match really sparked their interest in getting involved in the PRS style stuff. So, I mean, I heard a bunch of them saying, well, that match just cost me some money. I guess I'm setting my rifle up different, starting tomorrow. So,
Welcome to the sport.
yeah.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that's what I said after the first time I shot a PRS rifle. Well, I'm about to be broke.
Let me tell you, have you ever seen the movies where the people are out in the middle of the desert and they're like continually walking to this mirage that they see? They think there's water and they walk and they get closer, but then it's farther away, and then they get closer and then it's farther away. Okay, that's PRS shooting, because you go to a match and you're like, oh, if I could just get a different action, if I could just get a custom action, then I'd be good. And you get the custom action and then you're like, dude, if I could just get that chassis, I'd be good. And you get that chassis. Man, if I could just get this other brake. Man, if I could just get that tripod. Man, if I could just get that scope. And it just grows and it grows, and you never reach the mirage. You just keep buying more stuff. Every time I go to a match, there's something else I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bad.
And I think it is definitely a rabbit hole. And to me, if you look at the guys that are winning these matches, most of them, it's just the ones that have spent the most time behind their weapon, So, get a decent setup and just spend time behind it. Get comfortable with it. That's the key thing.
Yeah, I mean that's like 99.9% of it is just, have a single decent rifle and a lot of gun time behind it. But every once in a while there's like that new thing that you just really need. For me, over the weekend, it was the Rifle Cool by Magneto Speed. Because, if you happen to halfway through a match have somebody else shooting your rifle and, you're worried about it getting heated up. Also, it was really fun turning that thing on and just confusing the ever-living daylights out of everybody out there trying to figure out what the...
Okay, you can stop now.
Okay. Yeah, it's really loud, but it does an awesome job of keeping the gun cool. And we have now proven that with that, you can have two people shooting the same rifle in a match without it burning up.
Good stuff.
Are all of those behind you from you hunting?
Yes, I've got quite a few in this room. So there's another guy right there. That's a pretty good one. And then I've got another guy over here. And then I've got a couple more in another room, but the wife is slowly trying to make me move them out of the house. So they've all congregated in this little workout / reloading / whatever room. So
That's good. Your reloading room is bigger than mine. Mine is about like 4x8, maybe.
No, it's like definitely bigger than 4.
Maybe 5x7.
Yeah.
It's pretty small, so it's nice to have a good reloading area. Any lives, Greg?
Mike Bell said, "Shut up! I'm trying to get into it. Don't ruin it before I get going."
About the getting all this stuff.
And then back on the rucking part, Matt Sprouse said, "Except for the rucking part."
You don't want to ruck, Matt? Matt shot well.
Matt shot freaking awesome. He's like kind of bloomed as a shooter.
I'm not shooting good, and we're all like,
"Fool, please."
yeah, Matt has definitely stepped his game up big time.
Yeah, he's definitely put the time in, and you can tell.
Another local guy to him really surprised me in the match. Patrick Durkin that shot with y'all.
Yeah.
He man, a little time behind a good rig, and he's going to be hard to beat.
He's like, it's my first time. I don't know what I'm doing. Impact. I was like,
no, that's not how it started out as. Impact, target down.
Yeah. His first target shot, that was the target that was down that you had to go out and fix that you took off on that side by side.
Yeah, Patrick is definitely going to be, if he sticks with it, a force to be reckoned with for sure.
He definitely will be. And he was a nice fella also. Everybody was nice. It was good.
We pretty much had the greatest squad ever.
Y'all did have a good group.
We had fun. That was the best part. It was just fun. So it was good. So we're good on lives.
Matt said with a 308 R700 police rifle and a HS precision stock.
Yeah, he like you're saying, he's shooting basically a Remington 700 police with a Athlon scope on it, and I mean, he ran with the best of them.
Yeah. Oh, Chris Walker reminded us of his secret. He got quality training from some schmucks up at GTI.
Oh, did he?
He did.
Hey, ask him how that KYL went for him.
Hey, Chris, how'd your KYL stage go? I think he tied us.
He did. He tied me. And then when we went to go to the other range and we all got on the hayride, he got in the back of the pickup truck by himself, and I have a picture of him. I'm going to send you that, Chris, because I keep forgetting. He looks like he's sulking. I mean, he just got up there, but it was a very funny picture. He looked like he was sulking because he tied me on the KYL stage, which was not pretty. So
say Chris Walker said ... I
felt like those targets off of those tires were just really enticing. I felt like once you got going on it, was hard to back away.
Yeah, and so probably half of the matches that I've placed in the top 3 on is purely because of how I shot on the KYL. That was not the case this weekend.
Went all up there like I'm getting 4 targets.
Nope. So I went up saying I'm going to shoot 3, and I should have used your strategy, Jen.
Mhm. I told him to pop me. If I hit 3 targets and I put my face back on that gun, I wanted him to smack me. But yeah, we won't talk about what happened, but I didn't get to that point, so it was okay. But a little gun issue. But anyway, so yeah, that was my strategy. Is not, I thought that 4th one is small. There's no way I won't get that 4th one. But everybody else thought they were going to get that 4th one, and they didn't. So
It looked bigger through the scope. So like going up, I'm like, I'm going to shoot 3. I'm going to shoot 3. And like, I'm sitting here watching I'm watching where I impact. I'm like, I am well within target 4. Target 5, I'm right on line with. I'll go ahead and shoot for 4. And I thought that after about target 2. And took the shot. I'm like, definitely got this. You know, hold was perfect, was super stable. And no.
and everybody went, oh.
I just wanted to crawl up inside of that tire and just like sit there with the snakes.
That was a fun stage. I thought that the 12-round stage was very fun also. I mean, it's just modified prone. So for those that weren't there, it was modified prone. There was a target at like 400, 500.
305
Oh,
off the tires.
No, the long range stage with 1,000 yard. It was 400, 500, and 1,000, I think.
I believe that's right.
400, 500, and 1016.
Yep.
Yes.
And so, and you shot 2 rounds at each with your strong side, and then you had to shoot 2 rounds each support side. So it made you dial and then dial again, right? You had to dial each time.
Yeah.
And you had to change to your support side. It just made it made it a little froggy. It was good. It was fun. I really liked it. It was good.
Yeah, I shot one like that. I think it was at Core for one of the Accuracy International matches where you shot, strong side then weak side like that. And to me, it was the first time I was ever shooting my gun, and I think I have the trigger set at something like 7 ounces or something. So when my stupid side got on that gun and left hand on that trigger, I was extremely cautious. So I felt like I needed to practice more of that. So that's why I kind of added some of that in. I kind of enjoy those.
Mm-hmm. It just, modified prone is really pretty simple. So it added a little bit to it.
Yeah, it made it it was doable with the target size and all that. And, off top of the bench, I feel like you can be pretty fast, modified prone. So.
Yep. All right. We don't have any more lives. You're muted, so I have no idea what you're saying.
Oh, I said we are good as of right now.
Awesome. Well, then I think we can wind it down to shout outs. So we will start with you, Greg.
Oh no, I don't have a gun behind me. I can't point to my cool stuff on it. We'll start out with GSL suppressors. Make my rifles nice and quiet, and Classic Jewelry and Loan in Thompson, Georgia, for helping me do all that confusing ATF paperwork and stuff. Shooters and Sharpshooters of Augusta, our local indoor and outdoor ranges. PDC Custom, the most beautiful rifle chassis known to man. Shooters World Powder keeps my SD super low, and as long as I'm able to hold the gun steady, me hitting targets. Hunter's HD Gold for me to be able to see because I am blind, and Vortec to keep your rifles nice and shiny clean.
All right. How about Jeff? You got any shout outs you want to do?
No, just everybody that helped out with the match over at Jarrett Rifles. Appreciate all the hard work, and hopefully I have a dinner here set up for them in the near future to kind of reward some of those guys for spending their Saturday out there. And just thanks to everybody that came out and shot the match. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hope we can do it again soon sometime.
Awesome. And for me, I am paring it down this year. So just thanks to you for coming on and spending a couple hours of your night with us during the week to talk about the match. I hope it kind of drums up some more interest in it as it grows. I know you kind of wanted the first one to stay small. I think it was a good size for the first one, but I'd love to see 80 shooters at the next one. And
Oh yeah, we definitely. I didn't do a whole lot of advertising for this, just to make sure we kept it kind of small for the greenhorns that we had. Running some of the stages, and I think it turned out just perfect, just the right size and the right mix of people. So
that's awesome. So everybody check it out for sure. Check out Jarrett Rifles. Like I said, we'll get them on in the near future and talk about a little bit more about their rifles and their shop. I'd love to go out there and do a video at some point and sweet talk them into taking me hog hunting. But anyway, I want to do that one day. But we'll get them out there, and shout out to you for coming on. So
thank y'all for having me.
I enjoyed it. Everybody check it out. Look in the Atlantic PRS page for any more advertisements for matches coming up. And whenever y'all get a match set up again, we'll share it on the Shooters Mindset page so that people can see it there too. So
yeah, and I should have a bunch of pictures and video coming up. Jason Williams, another local guy from Greenwood, came out and spent his Saturday taking pictures and videos of everybody. So as soon as some of that content comes available, I'll post it up.
the most excited I was when he told me that his video did not have sound.
Somebody might have had a potty mouth for a little bit.
No, it wasn't even that. It was that
the
impact. Because I had a little gun issue and didn't have some good stages, but I had some good ones at the end, but not in the beginning or not in the middle. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to seeing all that. Where are you going to post those?
I'll probably post them to my Facebook and to the Atlantic PRS page. So
That'd be good.
look out.
That'd be good. Well, if there's anything that we can do to help y'all get the word out for anything y'all are getting going, by all means, let us know, because we're all in. And if I don't have primers, I'll come RO for you. Otherwise, I'll probably be shooting your matches because I enjoy sleeping in my bed and then going to a match. It's amazing.
Yeah. And like I said, you saw that reloading room. So if you need some components and, we might know somewhere we can get some.
Yeah, I know where to break in now.
There you go.
Don't tell anybody. I know what room to go in. No, I'm just kidding. Well, with that, I think that'll be a wrap for episode 334 with Jeff Trapp, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.